Meet the Americans who fled Trump and now live in Dutch refugee camps. This psychosis needs to be steadied.
You can have it. Whole damn country. I've had enough of you guys. My wife and I are selling our place, and we're moving.
I think many people underestimate just how challenging it can be to start over in a different country, adjusting to a new culture, navigating unfamiliar systems, and especially deal with a language barrier can make everyday life far more difficult than expected. Today, we're looking at some remarkable stories of people who chose to leave the United States after an election and the unexpected challenges they face abroad. Stay tuned, because every clip has a surprising twist you won't want to miss.
The United States to Canada, and
She fled the United States.
Need help.
By the way, for the people wondering, this is not a funny joke. This is an actual real person.
I'm a researcher of the far right. I am sitting on 10 months of rare and priceless ethnographic data on a violent Christian nationalist church. I have not had time to analyze it yet because I've been so busy waking up with this weight on my chest and frantically needing to go.
This is day one as a refugee in Canada. We made it across the border. I don't have a home. It's so hard. It's so hard. Every choice is so hard. The fear we felt crossing the border.
Oh, and she was also a teacher.
My students just turned in their midterm exams. The situation in Canada is absolutely dire. The housing crisis here is worse than in the United States.
Yeah?
I lived in LA for 6 years, and
I would have never guessed.
And I have not faced rent as bad as here.
Uh-huh.
When my partner, our cat, and our dog fled the United States, we headed north with the goal of being close to where our families are located.
This is The Walking Dead. We have to go and find our family.
My partner and I are here on a visitor visa, which is a 6 months possible stay for Americans.
Uh-huh.
But while you're here on a visitor visa, you can't work. So we are currently surviving off of what savings we could get together before we fled the United States. And that's not terribly much.
No way. So you're broke? I would have never guessed this. So you had a total fucking psychosis moment. We've got to get out of America. We've got to flee. Big surprise. A person like that doesn't have a lot of planning. That poor dog. I know, this poor dog.
And in Canada, I think it's actually the cost of living crisis is worse here, especially when you are shut out of the healthcare system, when you can't
That's crazy.
access any of the resources that Canadians have access to. And that's understandable.
Sounds like it's
You know, I'm
wait a minute.
not a citizen of the country, but
Wait a minute. So it's understandable that they don't give health care, but these are the same people that think that America needs to give health care to illegals?
it is making the financial situation dire because we can't work. Because there are 2 adults, a cat and a dog. We are looking for more than a room, but a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom.
For free. If you know of a studio, 1 or 2 bedroom apartment that we might be able to rent or stay in for free, please DM me. Guys, does anybody have a house that they can give me for free? Are there any houses?
This is the ask.
This is the ask. I need to live in your house. I need to live in your house with my dog.
As horrified as I am to be revealing my location. So if you...
Why do you think it... Who do you think is after? Do you think Donald Trump's after you? Like they're trying to track you down and like capture... What is this, like a Handmaid's Tale?
No, she does actually believe she's being tracked.
And I have to be able to get across the border with my cat and 2 suitcases and what I hope will look like junk in the back seat. Any other moment could be the kickoff to a genocide. I'm tired of being afraid when I'm teaching in classrooms that somebody's going to come and shoot it up. As a non-binary person and as a leftist.
Do you think the United States is like they're trying to track you down? It's like 12 years a slave. They're going to go onto the plantation and they're going to see her working at the Starbucks. Like, that one, bring her over here right now. You're going back to the plantation over there in California. Nah, she ain't got no papers. She not free, man.
As I mentioned in the intro, relocating to another country is often much more difficult than people expect. Starting over in a place where you don't have citizenship, an established work history, or long-term ties usually means you won't have immediate access to many public services or support programs. And settling in can take a considerable amount of time. On top of that, moving during a difficult employment market can make finding stable work even more challenging. It's a reminder that immigrating successfully requires careful planning, realistic expectations, and plenty of patience.
So apparently 76 trans Americans fled Trump's tyranny for Dutch safety. 0 were granted asylum, still in refugee camps that they're claiming are worse than the US prison. Mind you, half of these individuals probably left high-rise apartments in the US to go and live on the floor in sleeping bags in the dirt and claim that they were so oppressed and needed to seek asylum from the US. Seek asylum from what? And another thing that these people fail to realize is you went to the Netherlands to try to seek asylum when they genuinely feel that people from the US are presumed not to need asylum protection because they treat the United States as a safe country of origin. And in order to get approval, it is very rare unless they can prove specific individualized prosecution that the US government cannot or will not address. Because the Netherlands considers the US a safe country, applicants must clear a very high bar. They must show specific personal threats, not general fears. They must prove that they can't relocate safely within the US and show that they can't get protection from police or court. And simply seeking asylum for being a transgender and not agreeing with your government, the applicant could qualify if they can prove repeated targeted violence with no police protection, credible death threats or extreme harassment, evidence that authorities refuse to help or protect them. And even then, the approval is still.
The difficult reality for many of the people staying in these camps is that relocating to another country doesn't automatically lead to a better situation. Without meeting a country's immigration requirements or qualifying for long-term residency, building a stable life can be extremely challenging. Every nation has its own immigration laws and limited resources, so governments generally decide who can stay based on their legal policies rather than personal expectations. :
You really want to get the fuck out of this country.
Yeah.
We'd
really like to move out of the United States. That was a big thing that we were in alignment on.
Where?
Like,
we have a few options that we talked about, like
New Zealand or France.
That's not a cheap one.
Italy.
That will be a failed one. That will be an extra failed one.
Germany's Northern
okay.
European countries like Denmark, Switzerland, Netherlands.
Okay.
We've also
Why?
Just because of the political climate, we don't think things are going great.
Europe's going to the right as well.
Yeah, I mean the whole world is worldwide.
Reform's
right?
about to just smash and win the next UK election. I don't.
Yeah.
Italy, you say Italy? Everyone.
I didn't say Italy.
Who says Italy? You're saying Italy. They're calling.
News to me.
Everyone on in the United States and whatnot calls her a fascist, right?
Really?
Yes.
I know I didn't know that.
You know what?
The right's going to likely win in France as well.
You know what Italy did in World War II, right?
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I know that.
I don't know why we're talking about 100 years ago, but okay.
Wanting to move because of political disagreements is one thing, but actually relocating to another country is a completely different challenge. Places like France, Italy, the UK, and New Zealand often have a high cost of living, and adapting to a new language, culture, and legal system can take far longer than many people expect. Regardless of the destination, moving abroad usually requires significant savings for travel, housing, paperwork, and everyday expenses while searching for work. In many cases, you're essentially starting over, building a new career, creating a new support network, and adjusting to an entirely different way of life. That's why anyone considering such a move should plan carefully and have realistic expectations before making such a major decision.
Most of you guys know, ever since this election with Rump, I'm the 92% that didn't vote for him. My family and I decided last year that we would start traveling abroad, looking for a second home. Our primary home is in Montana on 46 acres. But we said we were going to start looking for a second home out of the country because we have no idea where we're headed with this guy in leadership. So the first country we chose to explore is Canada. That one of the main reasons is because we live close to the border of Canada. We're about 5.5 hours from Calgary. And so we said, we've been there a lot and we kind of liked it, but we never spent time. We said, okay, let's use the 6-month tourist visa. They give Americans 6 months. Well, we've been there. You guys know I've been posting on TikTok all the positive experiences. Canada is winning in all the ways that matter, in my opinion, right? Canadians are kind. I've talked about that. Well, my mother got sick, very sick in December. I was away. So this last Sunday, I prepared to drive through the border, as I always do, nice, kind, courteous to the border agents, gave him my passport, and he starts, asking different questions. And I'm like, that's not the regular questions they normally ask. Then he tells me to pull over, and I'm like, okay, are you not letting me in? And he said, I didn't say that, with an attitude. And then he said an officer will come out and talk to you. So I'm like, at this point, I call my husband on the phone so that he can listen. So 2 officers come out. They're like, oh, get out. Don't touch nothing. They got my purse. They're looking through all my personal things in my purse, and which I don't mind them searching the car. They have a right to search the car. I already knew that. And they're going through all my credit cards, all the stuff that's in my purse. And then I'm sitting on this cold bench for 45 minutes. They're searching my vehicle. Now, while this is happening, a white lady also gets pulled. They tell her they want to, they got to search her. Y'all, she was gone in 2 minutes. She was not asked to get out the car, anything. She was gone within 2 minutes. So I'm still wondering what has triggered such a deep search. What is going on? He keeps asking me, like he didn't believe me. You own a house in Montana? I said, yes, I do own a house in Montana. He's asked me that 3 times. So I'm getting a little like, okay, this sounds like racism. Why can't I own a home in Montana? Here is the proof that I own a house in Montana. Here, what else do you need? I've also shown you the lease that we are planning to leave. I have been posting about that. I have been saying my goodbyes to Canadians. I have been thanking them for their kindness. Everything I posted online said that we were leaving because our tourist visa was up. And he's like, oh, did you apply for permanent residency? I'm like, yeah, last year. But, that didn't work out. It wasn't approved. He's like, yeah, well, we want to make sure that you're not trying to you're trying to stay in the country illegally. I said, just because I apply for PR doesn't mean that I am planning on just staying in the country. I said, I have a whole house in Montana, and we are retired. We're debt free. Do you want to see bank statements? Babe, I can show you some stuff. Like, we're putting so much pressure on me. And finally, I just broke down and I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to try to get out sooner. I said, I got 22 days left in the country, but I'm going to try to go sooner. I said, it's obvious you don't want me here. I'm going to leave sooner. He's like, no, you ain't got to do that. I said, yeah, I am. And that's what I've been doing, y'all. So this is my goodbye. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, Canadians. You guys have been awesome. I know there's a lot of Maple MAGAs out there that, been giving me a lot of hate and all that stuff. But I just want to let you know, Trump don't care nothing about you. He wants your resources, baby. You look at how he's treating our people down here. Look at what our people are going through and how our prices are skyrocketing down there, gas and everything else. So if you think he loves you, I would say, bless your heart, as we would say in the South. So goodbye, Canada. It was nice. I will not ever come back, but I love you guys. Thank you so much.
For many Americans who haven't spent much time abroad, it can be surprising just how different life is in other countries. Every nation has its own laws, customs, government systems, and expectations, and visitors or new arrivals are generally expected to follow them just like everyone else. Adjusting to those differences can take time, which is why relocating overseas is often far more complicated than it first appears. But stick around, because the final clip is easily one of the most surprising moments in today's video.
Look at the multiple videos of people that were dying to flee this country. Oh, this is an awful place. President Donald Trump is president. Only for you all to get over there to that country that you all fled to and realize that it ain't what you thought it was. People that suffer from TDS, Trump deranged syndrome. They go over here thinking that they're going to escape this man. Like, this man is a whole country. This man is just one individual. And then when they get over there, it ain't what they thought they were. Healthcare ain't what they thought they were. Prices ain't what they thought it was. Housing ain't what they thought it was. Now they got to go and tuck their tail and come back and to America. Let's get to these clippings.
And hundreds, thousands of dollars out of pocket that we were not planning on. So now we're going back to the United States to get our son the care that he needs. And
So during earlier videos, this lady and stuff, she was so excited about moving to Mexico. She was excited about the passports. She took the pictures. She said, we're about to finally live our dream. She couldn't stay in America any longer, only to get over there to Mexico. And then her son got sick. And then all the expenses started coming. Now you want the United States health care. Wow. So it wasn't what y'all thought it was.
She makes an important point at the start. The president plays a major role, but government decisions are also shaped by many other institutions and elected officials at the national, state, and local levels. It's also worth remembering that every country has its own strengths and challenges, so moving abroad doesn't automatically solve every concern someone may have. No place is perfect, and every major life decision comes with trade-offs. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.